Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today, Tuesday, June 9th. It's $2 Tuesday, Teddy, and it's an exciting day all around. The 8th. The 8th. Is that what it says on the top there? Do I need glasses that badly? Oh, my God. Teddy, take over. How are you, brother?
I've had better mornings. Prez, how about yourself?
Well, I won my 5% play in NBA last night, so I'm a happy man, and I log into the chat room today, and John Chol, a good pal, never heard of him, decided to write, Prez is about to go on a sick run in NHL to end the playoffs, so I'm feeling good, man. John thinks so. I think so. I got a 5% play up tonight in NHL. Teddy, we got so many 5% today, it's crazy. Steve Merril has two in the same day. Andrew McGinnis going for his 9th 5% MLB winning play in a row. And it's $2 Tuesdays. There's so much going on at Wager Talk today. It's absolutely crazy. What did we learn last night? Look, I got a question. So you decide whether you want to answer it or talk about what did we learn last night. And that really is this. How good are the Suns? How good legit are the Phoenix Suns? This is a team that could beat anybody in a low-scoring game, elite defense, and as we saw last night, they could score with the best of them too.
Sure. Phoenix finished the regular season with the number 2 seed in the West. All right. There was nothing about the regular season for the Phoenix Suns that was fraudulent. There were questions about whether the Suns' lack of playoff experience was going to doom them against the Lakers, and it probably would have. But Anthony Davis got hurt. And when Anthony Davis gets hurt and gives a team a fresh look and a fresh approach, now it's a Suns team that, note the market reaction between game 1 and game 2. Game 1, 4.5 points, 4.5 point favorites at the close. What we often see is the markets react to the team that lost and make the game 2 point spread shorter. It'd be 4, 3.5. Not this game. We're seeing the markets say, no, the Suns are a good notch better than the Nuggets. And we're seeing 6s for game 2, which probably tells us that the success the backup Nuggets guards had against Portland, whose defense was a little bit dicey, let's be honest, is not the same, at least from last night, that we can expect to see from this backup Nuggets backcourt against the Suns. Because Phoenix played defense in a way that Portland couldn't. And it made all the difference last night for the team that, again, that is playing essentially with backup guards. So I guess the Suns' success last night had a lot to do with Denver. I'm not looking at Phoenix as the best team in the NBA.
Yeah, and I mean, if you watch the game, Denver's offense was just completely out of sync. I mean, you had sent me some quote running a fast-paced offense, not allowing Phoenix to set. Yeah, that didn't happen. They were shooting at 5, 4, 3, 2 on the shot clock all night. It was a smothering D that kept Denver on the outside, and it'll be interesting to see if it continues. Anything else you learned last night?
Well, sure. There's something that we got to talk about and what did Bettors learn today, and that, of course, is in poker we call them inflection points. You know, the key stages right after the levels rise, or when you're emerging from the 2 tables down to the final table. The key points. There are similarly key points in sports betting. And I'm going to talk about it when it comes to the playoffs. All right. Success in one round of the playoffs does not equate to success in the next round. I closed out the first round of the NBA playoffs 8-2, and I'm 0-3 so far in the second round. Success in the regular season does not equate to success in the playoffs. Think about your hockey, Prez, how you killed it all regular season. The playoffs haven't been nearly as good. I've seen it happen across sports. The same type of thing. Regular season, great. Playoff struggle. You nailed the first group of series. You went to the second group of series with a boatload of confidence, and you blow all the profits you just won in the first group of series. So it's a good lesson to reinforce. Be aware of the inflection points. And if you're not seeing things quite as clearly, take a step back, tap on the brakes a little bit. That's what I'm doing today in the NBA. I have an opinion on one of the two games in the NBA tonight, but I have no client plays this evening. We'll take a step back, tap the brakes, and see if we can find a little second round rhythm, because you don't want to go and say, yeah, I've won all these in the past. No, it's a little skid. You want to make sure that little skid doesn't become a big one when it comes to the postseason. What about you, Prez? What'd you learn?
Yeah, I learned not to call Teddy. I mean, look, you're right, dude. I was having such a dreadful couple of weeks in NHL. I took a step back yesterday and gave out my plays on the penalty box segment. 2-0. I was cheering to lose one of those plays, Teddy. I was like, I gave out the under in Montreal. It was 2-2 midway through the second. I was like, yes, I'm not going to go 2-0. And it held. Let's bring Matt Joseph in. Matt Joseph, $2 Tuesday handicapper over at Sports Memo today. And Teddy, check this out, man. 72-48 in baseball proposition bets on the season. Matt, welcome to the show. And how the hell are you so good at these prop bets? I mean, in every sport. Well, you have clearly been taking advantage of that. You're the $2 Tuesday handicapper at Sports Memo. What do you have going? Okay, well, let's get into another K prop. Marco Gonzalez, pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, playing Matthew Boyd and Detroit tonight. You got a proposition bet for us on that? Matt is muted.
He's gone over this number in 4 of his last 5 starts. Yes.
Yep. Hold on one sec. Joe, Matt has been muted. Okay. Go
All
ahead,
right, so
Matt.
Marco Gonzalez, the Tigers have the number 1 K rate in Major League Baseball against left-handed pitching, 30.6%. They've struck out 27% of the time the last 2 weeks, so those are 2 big numbers. Gonzalez, 6 strikeouts in 4 innings his last start, only threw 50 pitches because he was coming off the injury list, so I expect him to take that next bump up to about 75 or 80 pitches. He's gone over this number in 4 of his last 5 starts. Case in point, back on the 1st of this month, Eric Lauer had a terrible outing against the Detroit Tigers. He's a lefty. He had 5 strikeouts in 2 innings. So I think with Marco Gonzalez going about 6 in the third, maybe we'll get over that 4.5 number that's widely available now.
So where are you seeing the 75, 80 pitches? Because I get the quote I saw a quote that said that they were looking at him as very limited again today, and they were talking about 50 pitches again as a possibility, and they don't expect him to last deep into the game. Does that concern you with this prop at all?
It does a little bit. And another thing that could concern me a little bit is in terms of the weather. There is, I mean, if you look outside of any game that's not in a dome has a chance of rain today. So that's something that you certainly have to consider, especially with K-props. You almost hope that the rain comes in and they delay the start as opposed to starting the game and then losing your starting pitcher. I still think even with 50, 60 pitches, this is a guy that's going to get these strikeouts. He showed earlier and just in his last start that he can go over this number. Tigers are very free swinging. And of course, you could say one thing, and then if the guy's rolled a little bit, you could push that number just a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here is that he goes 3 or 4 innings, gets those strikeouts. And if he looks really good, they say, all right, let's get him that 5th inning potentially and the victory today.
Guys, listening to Wager Talk today, in case you missed the beginning, Marco Gonzalez over 4.5 strikeouts. This would have been Matt's $2 Tuesday play. He absolutely loves this play. It's just it was released only an hour or so ago. Marco Gonzalez over 4.5 strikeouts. Matt, you've got something for us on the Fonz's kid, Jesse Winker. Oh, there's no L. What's up with him?
So at noon every day on Twitter, I like to release notable MLB histories because while it's not the end-all be-all, we like to see which hitters are doing really well against certain pitchers, especially for those who play DFS. You want to start, have some building blocks. Well, when I looked at today's information, Jesse Winker just popped out. Jesse Winker is 8 for 13 with 5 homers against Adrian Hauser, the pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. This year, back on the 21st, May 21st, he had a single and 2 home runs against him in 5 innings. And that was in Cincinnati earlier this season. And all the peripherals look great for Winker. He's hitting .364 the last 7 days, .379 against right-handed pitching, .341 at home, .348 in night games. So the total bases prop is interesting. Some books include total bases, include walks. Some do not. Some you can get just hits, in which case I would look at over 1.5 hits. Or if you even want to be a little daring, you could sprinkle on the homer prop, since we've already seen he's got 5 homers in 13 at-bats against him. So somehow, whether it is DFS or some sort of prop, take advantage of Jesse Winker today against Adrian Hauser. He's going to do something. I prefer the total bases. You could sprinkle a little bit on the home run too, because clearly he's had some success there as well.
Awesome stuff. Matt Joseph, we love having you on this show, man. Guys, Matt is the $2 Tuesday handicapper over at Sports Memo. Head over there. It's only $2. Matt, anything to promote? Anything else really quick?
No, the $2 Tuesday, and for all access, if you want to get that, I've got 5 K props that I put out overall. Those are only for the all access subscribers, but the $2 Tuesday, come on over and check me out.
Nice stuff. Matt Joseph, everyone. Guys, quick break, 20 seconds. This is a massive jam-packed show. Steve Merril still, Dave Sharapan still, Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, my penalty box segment. Don't go anywhere and hit that like button for us, please.
Tuesdays
Great
is known
work.
as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Right now, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, Sixers 6-point favorites in most locations. We've seen a little bit of over money today. The 223.5s are getting bought up. Now we're seeing 224 at many books. And I'm going to start with this. I came into the postseason saying I thought Philadelphia was the team coming out of the East. I'm not convinced of that. Only after game 1, the Sixers are up against it right now. And look, the markets are going to expect the bounce back. We talked about the zigzag theory earlier. We talked about how the Phoenix Suns were not seeing the markets adjust for the Phoenix Suns in game 2. We're seeing the markets adjust towards Phoenix. Here, we're seeing the markets adjust towards Philly after their game 1 loss. And look, there are a handful of things that happened in game 1 not likely to happen in game 2. The 76ers have excellent perimeter defense. They give up 20 3-point shots, 20 made 3-pointers in game 1, a game where the Hawks shot 50% from the field and 43% from beyond the arc. So we have to expect Atlanta's shooting to come back to earth a little bit tonight, certainly from 3-point range. And yet, I've got my concerns about the Sixers right now on both ends of the court for tonight. They did not play great defense in the series against Washington. And they certainly didn't play great defense in game 1. Is there a flip to switch defensively? I don't know. Atlanta's a pretty deep team. My other issue for Philadelphia tonight, they shot, 55% from the floor in game 1? 54, 55? And I know they missed some free throws, and I know they didn't shoot well from 3-point range. But when you shoot 54, 55% from the floor and lose straight up at home, that, to me, is as big a red flag as you're going to find, because they're not going to shoot that well tonight. Not going to happen. You start reading those quotes from Atlanta. The confidence in all these guys is high. We're out here playing for each other, out here having fun. Everyone locked in. Trae Young, I think it's a good thing we're actually getting to play on TV. People get a chance to see what this team is really about. We got a lot of guys on this team who can play. Just about every year in the NBA postseason, there's one team. Sometimes there's two. Just about every year, there's one that wasn't expected to do a whole lot and ends up making a big run. Miami Heat were that team in the NBA postseason last year. Atlanta Hawks sure have the feel of that team this year. I'll look at Atlanta plus the points tonight, even though prior to the series, I was talking up Philly. One game changed my opinion here enough to look at the Atlanta side this evening. Give me the Hawks plus the 6. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Thank you, Teddy Covers. Great job. Steve Merril joining us now. And Teddy, Steve is absolutely frickin' rolling. I mean, wow. 14-3 his last 9 days. 14 wins and 3 losses. He's on an 11-2 NBA run. Steve, tonight is probably, I could be wrong here, it's probably your biggest card ever at WagerTalk, like ever. Like, you have never stepped out like you are tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I probably have had 3 or 4 NFL games on a Sunday, so we'd have maybe, 15 or 16% of bankroll in play. But yeah, this is the first time ever that I've had 2 5% best bets on the same night. And it's happening tonight with both NBA games this evening. I don't purposely plan these things. It just happened to work out this way. I like them both a lot. I'm reluctant to actually put 2 5% out on the same night, but that's how I'm playing them.
Yeah.
And my clients get exactly what I play, exactly how I played. And I've won consistently for 25 straight years. As you said, 14-3 MLB and NBA the last 9 days, 11-2 NBA run, 19-6 longer NBA run, 32-14 over the past month NBA. 2 5% best bets. Pretty darn good time to go to WagerTalk.com right now and get them both. And I made a 2-for-1 combo also, so you can get them for a little less than the normal price for 5%ers.
Nicely done. Steve Merril, nice haircut, dude. Looking good.
Feeling good, Prez.
Well, that's nice to hear. Let's get into it, man. Dodgers, Pirates, Ferris on the mound tonight. Dodgers minus 185, 7 o'clock game. What are you doing?
Yeah, we've talked about the Dodgers a lot here on these shows over the different weeks. And as you know, since going back to last year, it's been pretty much automatic. You either play the Dodgers minus 1.5 run line, or you play the other team outright at the plus money line underdog price. And it's been working once again this season. It's been working here in recent games. Dodgers enter here off of 2 straight losses, both outright as favorites at Atlanta. The game they won at Atlanta on Friday night, they won by margin by 4. The game before that they won a game before at St. Louis, they won by 11. So at home against St. Louis. So once again, their last 2 wins, actually, if you go back, their last 3 wins have come by 5, 11, and 4-run margins. And they've gone 0-6 straight up in the other 6 games outright as a favorite. So it's a perfect 9-0 angle just over the past week or so. I think it makes a lot of sense tonight here. As I mentioned, Dodgers off a loss, back-to-back losses, but they had a day off to travel and now play what is considered the worst team in baseball. I think the Rockies are up there. There's some other teams as well. But coming into the season, the highest over-under win total was the Dodgers, World Series favorites, defending champs. The lowest win total was the Pirates, 59.5, worst team in baseball last year. I don't want to overthink it here. I mean, Dodgers in a bounce-back spot. And one thing I'll point out real quick, I did a baseball video this weekend on Sunday. Go back and watch it for those of you that missed it. I know it was over the weekend, but it's still up there on WagerTalk TV. I'm talking about a big upcoming scandal in baseball with pitchers who have been doctoring the ball now for several years to get more spin rate. Baseball is going to start cracking down on it. Trevor Bauer is the poster child of this problem. He had a bad outing on Sunday. It's something to keep an eye on. The Dodgers in general have a higher spin rate with him on the roster now. That is a concern. Buehler's not quite as much as the others, though, so I think Buehler pitches well tonight. But it's something to keep an eye on. Don't have a lot of time here to talk about it, but go back YouTube TV and check out that video from Sunday about baseball.
So the Dodgers started 14-2, and since that time they're 20-23, and they rank among the bottom quartile of MLB teams in profitability. I love your angle talking about if you're going to play the Dodgers, you better play them on the run line or you bet against this team. But do we really want to be betting on the Dodgers right now? In general, as a team, all they've done is cost their backers money for the better part of the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think because of that, though, Teddy, we're getting a nice little discounted price. I mean, if you told me at the beginning of the season, if you told any of us, you can basically get the Dodgers against the Pirates at slightly better than a pick-em price. Now, granted, we have to lay the run and a half, but as we've established, they either win outright by margin or they lose. So, I mean, it's really like getting them at a pick-em price as far as I'm concerned. And I think because of the recent results, we are getting some value now with the Dodgers.
Steve Merril, everyone, 11-2 NBA run, 14-3 all sports run, a double pack of 5% plays up tonight at WagerTalk. Steve, New York Mets playing Baltimore Orioles. Yikes, terrible record, but look, they're playing better ball, man. They've won 4 of their last 5, including an 18-5 drumming of the Cleveland Indians. New York Mets minus 120, 9.5 on tap. Peterson versus Zimmerman. How are you betting this game?
Yeah, Baltimore is hot offensively, Prez, and that's something I think that gets kind of overlooked by the handicapping public in general. Everyone talks about the starting pitching matchups, and it is important. I mean, that's the large amount of what the blind is based on. But there's a lot of intangibles now. The bullpen pitches more in games than ever in recent history. No starters barely go more than 5 innings, half the game. But the one thing that's consistent every lineup for the most part is your offense. And guys definitely go through cycles during the season, hot and cold. It's just human nature when you're playing 162 games. So when a team has a breakout offensive game like Baltimore had on Sunday, it catches my eye and I like to dig deeper. And I do think that might not necessarily be the buy sign with the Orioles as a team. I think it could be. I definitely would be cautious fading them here as they're now 4-1 their last 5. But I think the over makes sense. If you look at the Mets' recent offensive numbers, yes, they've put up maybe 4 runs or less in 3 of their last 4 games, but they've also put up 13, 6, 5, 7, and 6 on the other games on each side of that. And they've had double-digit hits now in 5 of their last 7 games overall as a team. Baltimore, meanwhile, has had 10 hits or more in 4 of their last 5 games, including that 18-run burst on 21 hits Sunday. Now, both teams were off yesterday, so I'm a little concerned maybe that momentum gets adjusted a bit. But I think both offenses remain hot. 2 bad pitchers on the mound, 2 mediocre staffs. Other than DeGrom, nothing special about either pitching staff. ERA of 5.9 for Peterson, 5.4 for Zimmerman. 2 bad starters, 2 hot offenses. I think over 9.5 makes sense here.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't talk you out of them, that one, although Zimmerman did throw well last time out. Let's talk about the D-backs and the Athletics, the Oakland A's. Significant home favorites in this one. I'm seeing minus 210, minus 220 on the A's. Total 8.5, although we have seen some under money. 8 starting to pop up. What do we do with the Duplantier versus Bassett matchup? Diamondbacks and A's.
Yeah, Teddy, this one's very similar to the first game, Pittsburgh and L.A. We're getting one of the better teams in baseball in Oakland here. Off a loss, a bad showing in Coors Field Sunday. They only scored 1 run in that altitude and thin air. The total was 11, and it was only a 3-1 game. So we have another spot. We have a decent playoff caliber team off a loss against really what you could say is the worst team in baseball right now. I know we have Dave Sharapan coming on, so I don't want to say the Pirates are the worst team because I want him in a good mood when he goes after Prez here in a moment. But Arizona, at least over the last couple of weeks, is the worst team in baseball. And, they got that win against St. Louis and they lost. They got an extra inning 6-5 win against the Mets. So you're thinking, maybe they're turning the corner here, 2 out of 3 wins. Now, they've lost 5 straight since then. They're still a falling knife. I don't like to try to catch falling knives. You get cut more times than not. And here again, we could get Oakland on the run line, -1.5, pick them, -110. And the A's also are winning by margin. They lose that game outright, as I mentioned Sunday, but they were 4-0 before that, winning by 3, 4, 6, and 6-run margins. In fact, if you go back over their last 7 wins the last couple of weeks, every one of them has been by 2 runs or more. So here again, I think Oakland wins the game. They most likely win by 2 or more at a pick 'em price.
Great job, Steve. Awesome stuff. Guys, you listen to Steve every week on WagerTalk Today. His breakdowns are incredible. His knowledge, world class. And he's just winning day after day after day. Head over to WagerTalk.com. Grab his 2 5% plays. Thanks, Steve. Teddy, I got to read you something. We're going to bring Dave Sharapan in 2 seconds. But, last week I had a 5% play in NBA at 1. I came on and I read some of my analysis. Humor me and allow me the same privilege again. Oh, my God. Look at him. Anyway, here's what I wrote in the analysis for my 5% play on the over in Denver last night. I'm just going to read a couple of sentences. The way I have handicapped this game is that I think we get 115 points in the first half. Teddy, how many points were in the first half last night?
You tell me, Lawrence.
115. Then we will have a lull in the third quarter. There was a massive lull in the third quarter. And we will be over the total with 2 minutes to spare. I missed that by about 30 seconds. Furthermore, I think this will be the lowest total we see in the series between the teams with an adjustment made towards 222. Well, it went to 222. Literally every word of my analysis played out exact. So, guys, there is a reason I'm 63-30 in 5% plays since December 2019. I kind of know what I'm doing. Speaking about knowing what is doing, Teddy, you got a big promo up for yourself, and really one that everyone needs to take advantage of. TC29. Is that the promo code? TC29.
That's it. Exactly.
3 days. 3-day all access pass to Teddy covers for only $29, right?
Yeah, less than $10 a day, normally priced at $69. So if you want a taste, check it out. Just use the promo code TC29 for the 3-day all access at check.
Let's bring Dave Sharapan in. And Dave used to be a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. As we can see, he's clearly a bandwagon jumping fan. Now he's picked Vegas because they've won 2 in a row. Tomorrow he'll be on with Colorado if they win. I don't understand the glasses. 1980s cold. They want their Oakleys back. How are you, Dave Sharapan?
Prez, I'm just trying to keep up with you. I don't want any drama today. Literally, you nailed the game, and everyone's very excited that you nailed the game, literally. And I mean, I have to put on sunglasses to just deal with the star that you are. So I figured I'd come on. All the kids are wearing them. All the baseball players are wearing them. Merril was on. He got a haircut. I'm just trying to keep up here. That's all.
So you got to understand that when you say literally like that, Prez doesn't understand you're making fun of him. He doesn't hear it. When you say drama, the way he says like Dramamine or something, he doesn't hear it. He doesn't even know that we're making fun of him to his face.
He's not even listening to the show. He's not even listening when we do the show. He doesn't listen to you. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to anybody. But that's part of the show. That's what the show is.
Yeah, guys making fun of the Prez is equivalent to girls making fun of Brad Pitt. It just doesn't happen.
Flex
I don't
Tuesday,
hear it.
baby.
I don't feel it. It goes right over my head. Flex Tuesday. Come on, everybody.
There it is.
Dave, man, where the hell have you been? We've missed you, bro. You're all over Sports Grid. Congratulations on that stuff. I saw you doing some work with Joe Ranieri yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you want to talk about doing work. I mean, when you're on with Joe, you have to bring your A double game. So being on with Joe, doing all kinds of stuff. I was doing some other stuff with Odyssey.com last week. So a lot of things are happening. Everybody's ramping up for football. You guys know that. So we're talking to a lot of people. We're doing a lot of things, and we're just trying to make heads or tails of this industry right now. Because I said it to somebody yesterday, it's going to get murky to the point where you're going to have a mask on underwater. You won't be able to see your hand in front of your face as we continue to try to progress this industry forward. It's incredible.
So what you just said there, Dave, we have to highlight that because that's something that literally only the guys in Vegas or only bettors are saying, yeah, football season, we're gearing up for football season. You know, it's not 4th of July. It's like the second week of June. It's the 8th of June, Prez. So it is the second week. But football doesn't start for 3 months. And yet we're seeing college football numbers come up. NFL markets get mature. Why are those numbers posted so early? And why do bettors get so attracted to those numbers so early?
It's funny, Teddy, because being in the book, you put these numbers up and nobody bets them. That's just the hidden secret. They're great for media. They're great for content. They're great for shows. But as far as anyone really laying out money, significant money, no one's betting this stuff. I mean, you know, the Westgate has a line and total for all 17 weeks of the NFL season. It's unbelievable. I've done that exercise. It's very, very hard. You can come up with lines, sides, but totals for games, it's a lot of guesswork. And you put them up and no one knows what to do with them. So it's really interesting. But yes, season wins are up. And then a trade happens like Julio Jones yesterday that moves not just the Titans market, but it moves the Falcons and it moves the NFC West and it moves the AFC South and it moves the totals in both division odds and, conference odds, Super Bowl odds. So there's a lot of things that happen throughout the summer when no one's looking and we're all watching these baseball games and, watching the favorites cover, all the games go under and pitchers, continue to use that stuff until next week, like Merril said, and then we'll start to see some totals go over. But yeah, man, it's ramping up, not just in the book with numbers and, action starting to trickle in, but it's ramping up for content and stuff like that. We got to do our work, because we have to know prepared, like football season is coming. It's the best when you get someone that goes, oh, it's August 23rd. I should start preparing for football. If you're doing that, you probably shouldn't pay attention to a lot of what that person's is saying.
Sure. NFL deadline for me is always August 1. In terms of when everything's got to be done as a last. And I like to be done with most of my NFL work by the beginning of July. That way we get to focus on college. You had a great Twitter thread yesterday. And, of course, if you want to follow Dave Sharapan on Twitter, at SportsBKConsig, Sportsbook Consigliere, SportsBKConsig on Twitter. And you talked about the John Rahm bets. Some books paying, some books not. And you made a great point that I wanted to highlight here, and I want to give you a chance to highlight. Talking about the books that paid Rahm did it as a PR stunt because they didn't have extensive liability on them. Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah. One of the benefits of sports betting is that there's two sides, whether you like, the favorite or the dog, the over, the under, there's two sides. You don't have to agree, and you make a bet based on your opinion. And when it's right, you get paid. And when it's wrong, you lose. Well, there's two sides to this paying out the John Rahm thing. Okay. John Rahm was leading the golf tournament, after 2 rounds, 6-stroke lead. He's going to win the thing most likely. And he got tested positive for COVID. He's ruled out. Some books decided, well, he was going to win. We don't have that many bets on it. Let's pay out everybody that bet John Rahm. And it's fine. Like, I don't agree with that. If it was my book, the rules state you bet a guy to win a golf tournament. Did he win? No, you lost. That's a bad beat. Now, the reason I would say you don't pay it out is because what's the next time? As a bookmaker and odds maker, you're always thinking about the next number, the next bet. What do you move it to? Well, what about, James Harden played 42 seconds and got a bad back or something. He pulled his grade. He's out. Do you refund those prop bets on James Harden? He played 42 seconds. Do you lose? So you make a decision now that's a slippery slope. And when do you pick and choose? There's house rules. There's governing bodies, Nevada Gaming Control Board, that you have to answer to. So you can't just pick and choose one time in Nevada, at least. Well, yep, we should pay this guy because it'll be good PR. The books that can did, the books that didn't did not. And, for people to get upset about either way without really knowing how it works, it's comical. And I just had to tweet about it because nobody talks to the books in these situations. They just go, oh, this book sucks because they didn't pay. And this book's great because they did. Well, they paid you so you would bet more. They're not paying you to just give you free money. I mean, let's keep it real. It's a marketing move. It's not bad. It's just in the competition to get customers, you have to really see the stuff for what it is. And that's all it was. And so thank you for allowing me to just kind of educate people on that and say, like, hey, it is what it is. It's marketing.
Dave
So speaking
Sharapan,
of slippery
everyone.
slopes.
Teddy.
Speaking of slippery slopes.
Slack.
Slack.
Read your slack. Read your slack, buddy.
I'm not needed for this segment.
Slopes.
Just handle the segment without me.
Let's talk about
hockey.
Paul and Mayweather. We'll talk about hockey. You get to talk hockey with Prez in just a moment. But
okay,
you also talked about the Mayweather-Paul spectacle on Sunday night. From a bookmaking standpoint, what do we do with stuff like that?
My only thing with that is that we have to be so careful with allowing this thing to go nationwide and bringing people into the industry that don't know. We can't be providing bets and odds on things that aren't sporting events. This is very dangerous because, a lot of people were introduced to boxing or to betting on boxing with that Paul Mayweather fight. And that wasn't a fight. That was a spectacle. That's what I called it. So now what do we bet on next? Are we betting on wrestling? Colorado has, Russian table tennis. They did a ton of handle on it. I don't know. I just am worried that, these things are going to just continue to happen. As a someone who's been in a book, the meeting would have been real quick. Are we offering odds on Paul and Mayweather? Absolutely not. Well, what about all the handle we're going to miss? Let it go. It's not for us. That's what I would have said. That's where I stand on it. The fight was terrible. If you didn't see it, you didn't miss anything. But it wasn't really a fight. It was a little showcase sparring session that I think Prez could have knocked either one of those two out. I don't know how good Prez's chin is, but I seen those arms and I know he can hit a bag. I think he would have knocked either one of those dudes out.
Dave, we got to give us some type of actionable info. We got 2 NBA games going today, 2 NHL games going today. Are there anything that jumps out at you one way or the other in either of those sports?
I'll tell you what, the Tampa Bay Carolina series looks over to me. I think you get Tampa at a super cheap price. You feel like Carolina is going to be all in, yes, but I don't know. I see Tampa, winning this game. They're just better. They're just better. Carolina is a great hockey team. Tampa's just a little bit better. Vegas, Colorado, boys. Yeah, I'm wearing the hat. I told everybody for months, all the people in the chat, they knew the Penguins weren't going anywhere. They were mad at me. My Penguin stuff's still right over here, and I'll wear it next time. But the Knights are my other adopted team. I think this is going to be a fantastic game, and I think that you get Colorado at the cheapest price that they will be the entire series. Because if they win this and lose Game 6, they'll be more expensive in Game 7. And if they lose this, they might be dogs actually in Vegas, which they should be. Vegas is right there with them. Shift for shift, they're better 5-on-5. What do you mean? So as long as
Dave,
Vegas,
what do you mean? Dave, what do you mean they're right there with them? Vegas is out shooting Colorado 2-1, 3 games in a row.
I know, but you got to be
a row. It hasn't even been.
You got to be careful. I understand, but you got to be careful with the shots because.
Yep.
They're just from outside. They're getting, like last game, they got inside the circles and in the slot. It started to get, nasty and everything. But games 2 and 3 were nip and tuck. Those were, despite being outshot, Colorado was right there, ready to win either game. They did win game 2. I don't know. The first thought is under on this one. I think you're going to see some steam come under on Vegas, Colorado. I think for Colorado to win, they have to win that type of game. They have to limit Vegas's scoring chances. They have to possess the puck more. They can't just score on the power play. So I think that's what you're going to see. In the basketball, boys, I mean, I heard Teddy's big game breakdown with the NBA. It makes perfect sense to take the Hawks because, I mean, the Sixers were so bad in the first half last week. But I don't think the Hawks can shoot as well as they did. The number that it comes to me there is the total. I think the total is going to go over again. I don't think the totals are being adjusted in the games that are going over. Right. Just like, Prez spotted the Suns total yesterday. This total should be higher, and it's not. So I like over in there. And then Clippers in Utah, boys, I can't wait to watch. I think that's going to be just a hell of a basketball game, a hell of a basketball series. I think the oddsmakers put out 4 to see what the people are going to do because they've been betting the Clippers against the Mavs, and they kept betting them. They got paid off. I think first game of the series with Utah off the rest, Clippers off of a 7-game series. The play is on Utah, but I think you can tread cautiously because the Clippers could easily win that game. So I don't know. How's that, Prez? Did we do it? We try to do it in 2 minutes. That was not bad.
Not bad at all, Dave Sharapan. Thanks for joining us, man. We love having you on most Tuesdays. You've been a little slack of late, but we forgive you. By the way, congratulations on your beautiful daughter's graduation. The pics were amazing.
Oh my goodness. They're growing up fast, Press. We're going to have to trade notes when they get a little bit older. It's brutal. Yeah, I'm wearing the glasses too, because you start talking about that, I'm going to be a little misty-eyed.
Oh, so yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Man, hits you here.
Wait a minute, Dave. Was it not just high school or was it college?
Yeah. No. It was just high school. So it wasn't that big a deal, like as far as that goes, because there's more.
Dude, my first high school I don't know why I'm so blurry, but my first high school graduation with my eldest, I just stood in the back and counted the minutes till it ended. I got another graduation in 2 weeks' time for my youngest. I could care. Just get out, man. Just go already.
Not me. I was at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, so it was all the events that I saw there and all the stuff. And she walks out from underneath where I saw Mayweather walk out or Oscar De La Hoya fight Arturo Gatti. I had all those moments come back, so it was a fun experience. Thanks, Prez.
Get out of here, brother. It's time, everybody. It's the penalty box
segment. Where's the music?
Hey, everybody. Lawrence Presman here. Time for the penalty box segment for June 8th, Tuesday. And I know I said this earlier, but hopefully we're going to cut the segment. I'm going to throw it up on Twitter. So I just want to say it again. I had a 5% play in the NBA last night at 1. If you read my analysis, it literally said the first half of the game would be 115 points. It was. My analysis said there'd be a lull in the third quarter. There was. My analysis said we'd win with 2 minutes to spare. I was 30 seconds short. My analysis said the next game will have a total of 2-2-2. It is 2-2-2. And I have a 5% play in hockey tonight, guys. So if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, head over to WagerTalk. Go read my analysis start to finish. As for your free picks tonight, let's start with Tampa Bay and Carolina. I do not agree with Dave Sharapan. Shout out to Dave. He thinks Tampa Bay is a great bet here. I do not. Look, we've seen Tampa Bay go up and down all year. When they are on, they are probably the best team in hockey. I don't feel like they are as consistent as they were last year. I think Carolina is a tough team and a tough out, and I think getting them at plus 105 is a good bet. Colorado versus Vegas. I love the Avs here. Minus 145. Look, Vegas likely is the better team. They won the last 3 games in a row. I mean, they've just totally dominated Colorado. But I believe in Nathan McKinnon, and I believe he could put a team on their back. I think tonight is must win for them. So please take Colorado minus 145. I also like the LA Dodgers minus 1.5 runs and an Andrew McGinnis special. Sebastian Aho to score a goal plus 145. Teddy! Take us home, baby.
I want to thank Steve Merril. And of course, I want to thank Dave Sharapan at SportsBK on Twitter to close out the show with us. I want to thank Joe Ranieri behind the scenes. And I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Prez and I. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon on the east coast. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.